Showed up in pajamas, kids gone bananas. Did you know you specify your fetish as sex back pocket bandana?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome out once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and open imitator. Never duplicate Suicide to Vicious. Better go raw this week. But in Chicago, Illinois, and thank the gods on high, the name of the Pepsi Man was not summoned, so thank you. Thank the gods on that. So, excuse me. Ugh. It's this change of weather. Hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Doing a number on me. Getting congestion and all. Anyways, enough about my personal bitchings. Before we get into the show, and before we even do the SmackDown Rewind, big announcement was made in the middle of the show. The God King himself, Triple H, came out, hyped up on how Roman is coming up to 1,000 days as Universal Heavyweight Champion and all that, hyping up the glitz and the glamour on having a reign that long, and on how Roman negotiated himself into a position where he doesn't always have to defend all the time. And Hunter didn't even knock it, saying, listen, if I was in his shoes, I would have done the same. And while that works to Roman's advantage, it doesn't necessarily work towards your advantage, emphasizing towards the fans. So, come Night of Champions, the pay-per-view coming up in mid-May at Saudi Arabia, there will be a new champion crowned, a new World Heavyweight Champion, and he unveiled it, and oh my god, the title looked good. It was a very, very nice looking, it's a very nice looking title. Now, unfortunately, our legal department has told me that we cannot put a picture up on it. However, I can give a vivid description. Picture the big gold belt with the WWE logo stamped right in the middle of it. And yeah, honestly, I gotta say, this is the nicest looking title WWE has had in a long time. And I know a lot of belt collectors and title aficionados will probably come at me on this, but I don't give a fuck. A lot of them will say, well, the Winged Eagle or the Hogan 87 title were really nice looking ones, and this, that, and the other. Personally, I think the Undisputed Championship from the early 2000s was the nicest looking world title WWE ever had. Not to say that, and I'm just emphasizing on that, just WWE title. Because personally, I think that the hands down 3 best title designs I've ever seen for world titles: the 10 pounds of gold NWA title, the Ring of Honor Championship going from like 2012 to 2015-ish, and the WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. That one. Those are the 3 best in my personal opinion, which, given that this is out there on the internet, equals next to shit, because, hey, guess what? We all have our own opinions, and opinions are all like assholes, right? We all got them, and, well, some of them typically stink. I don't know about y'all, but I wash mine on a daily. So now that we're done talking about that, and I gross you out with my personal daily hygiene habits, let's switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. Big highlights from last week's SmackDown: Damian Priest and Finn Balor, I should say, had a tag match against Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, and I'm liking on how they're hyping up the LWO. I know news came out earlier today that Chavo is a little flustered on it and saying that Rey is out there prostituting Eddie's name because using the LWO and all this, that, and the other, and I see his point. I see his argument. I don't agree with it, but I see it because, and this is just my personal view on it, I'm thankful on that, and in a weird way, I'm also a little thankful for the internet fans, because If not for the internet, and if not for the internet and for Ray and WWE doing the LWO, there would be an entire generation that would not know the good goddamn name of Eddie Guerrero. Because, I mean, listen, and that's the cold hard truth. That is, there would be an entire generation that would not know the good goddamn name of Eddie Guerrero. No different than there would be a generation that doesn't know that if they didn't hype up on the legacy and the length of Bruno Sammartino's long title reign, nobody would know about it. And I'm not trying to compare Bruno's reign to the legacy of Eddie, because that's comparing apples to rutabagas. It's two completely different things, but I'm using both as examples, is what I'm getting at. I'm trying not to go long-winded, and I'm going really hard not to. Sorry. But I'm all for it. I'm all for it is what I'm saying. I'm for them doing that. Because it doesn't feel like that they're shilling it and they're prostituting. They're talking about that Eddie started up that group to talk about his pride of his culture, his heritage, and this, that, and the other. And maybe I'm not the right person to say this stuff, given that I'm a white Irish boy from Philly. So yeah. Either way, decent match. Finn and Priest, they got the win. Priest then wound up talking about Priest was also talking about on how, listen, Bunny, don't want to cross paths with me when you see you. Next time, you don't want to cross paths with me if I see you again on Monday. Which he did, and we'll get into that because that played a pivotal role at one point. Ricochet and Braun Strowman had a tag match against the Viking Raiders. It was a decent enough TV match. Ricochet and Strowman, they got the win. Raquel and Liv defended their women's tag titles against Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. And I cannot believe the ending to this. I have been waiting since Friday to say this. I have been cracking up on it nonstop. How the ending of the match came to be. Liv Morgan got a water bottle and doused Chelsea in the face with it, because the Monday prior, Chelsea splashed a thing of water on Liv and all. So, in order to win the match, Liv Morgan had to squirt on Chelsea Green on live network television for the entire world to see. Have fun with that sentence, folks. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I've been waiting since Friday to get that joke on here. Yeah. Gunther defended his Intercontinental Championship against Xavier Woods, and that went down exactly as you expected. Gunther beat the holy hell out of Woods, and I felt each and every one of those chops in my soul. Ow. Ooh. And Solo had a no DQ match with Riddle, and man, he beat the holy hell out of Riddle. Solo got the win, much to no surprise. There was a post-match beatdown with the Usos, 3-on-1, and sending a message, yeah. So, not much of a shocker. So with that said, now we get into this week's show, Raw Chicago. It starts out with, oh baby, it starts out with the son of the plumber, if you will. Cody Rhodes comes on out. So Chicago, what do you want to talk about? And I honestly, one thing I will say, again, much like on how I was surprised Chicago didn't go and do the chants for the Pepsi Man, Chicago also did not decide to go and start doing any kind of like AEW or All In or All Out chants for them or anything, especially considering, well, you know, the poster right there kind of says it all. They did the All In. They did All In Chicago. So I was just kind of surprised on that, but Cody then wound up going on how Brock is legitimately one of, if not the toughest combat sport athletes out there in the world today. And, well, JBL put it best. Brock Lesnar is the only man to be WWE, IWGP, and UFC heavyweight champion. He's the only man to hold all three of those titles. So, yeah. And not only that, Brock Lesnar is a legit fucking badass. You see this guy in, you know, if you were locked in a prison cell with Brock Lesnar, listen, rape is not consent is not an option if Brock Lesnar wanted to go and get a piece of that ass. Yeah, he would. Consent would not be an option. Brock Lesnar is a monster. He's the kind of monster that eats other fucking monsters. So, anyways, Cody's talking about hyping up all that, and then he's saying on how Brock is a coward. He's a coward because he had to attack him from behind when he wasn't expecting it. But you know what? People are saying, Cody, you sure about this, man? I mean, he's pretty badass, you know, tough and all. And then Cody rips off his tie, takes off his shirt, throws them both out to the fans, and then goes and emphasizes on the scar. Scar he got with from the torn pec, saying, listen, I tore this muscle clean off the bone, competed in a Hell in a Cell with one of the toughest wrestlers in this company today, Seth frickin' Rollins, and I still kicked his ass. So if I can do that, so if I can go and beat him in a one-handed, what the hell makes you think I won't do to Brock with two? And then out comes Finn saying, listen, Cody. I get what you're saying, man. And I'm fully behind you. What happened to you at WrestleMania was wrong. You got screwed. You wouldn't be screwed, though, if you had some backup. So what I'm saying is, why don't you join the Judgment Day? And keep in mind, I'm paraphrasing all this, mind you. And Cody, looking like, so just to make sure I understand, you want me to join the Judgment Day? I'm going to have to respectfully decline. But, and then, you know, Finn saying, listen, you're making a huge mistake, especially after that beatdown Brock gave you. I mean, you weren't even medically cleared to come around last week. Wasn't cleared last week. I am this week, though. So what I'm suggesting is, you and me, we go and have ourselves a little match later tonight. I'll see you later. So yeah. So we'll get into that match between Cody and Balor later, but now we get into the first match of the night. Usos and Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline, going against the LWO, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Phoenix, and Cruz del Toro. So yeah. Babyfaces, the LWO, they were leading right up into the break. And they were leading for a little bit after the post. It was more so, excuse me, LWO was leading a majority of the match of it for the most part. And, you know, I was kind of surprised on that, especially given, you know, the level that the Bloodline has been at. But then the more I thought about it, well, they lost the titles. They got a rematch for the titles coming up this coming Friday. So yeah, make it look like a little trepidatious or hesitant on, well, make you think, did they still got it? Did they lose a step after they lost? Or did that just make them more hungry? So, either way, Bloodline winds up getting the win. What it is, Cruz del Toro, he goes to jump off the top rope solo. Wham! Catches him with a Samoan spike. And then the Usos hit him with the 1D. And then afterwards, they cut a promo talking about on how this match coming up this Friday is dedicated to Roman Reigns. So we're going to fast forward a little. Sami Zayn saw Jay at one point basically saying to him, listen, man, I just need you need to think about this. You just dedicated this match coming up on Friday to Roman. Now I'm telling you right now, we're not giving up these titles. We're going to walk out of that match with them. And if you don't walk out of that match with those titles, what do you think Roman's going to do to you? What do you think he's going to do to your brother? He's already getting you two, he's already isolating Solo. He's keeping him away from you guys for the most part. All that kind of stuff. Getting into Jay's head. And then Jay talking to Jimmy. Bringing up all that stuff and like, man, don't you worry about that. We're going to go and whoop their ass. We're going to get their titles. And then everything going to be back to normal. And then Jimmy winds up going and seeing Sammy getting into his head saying, your boy Kevin, he's always stabbed his back. He's always turned his back on you. He's always stabbed you in the back. This Friday, when we win, it's going to be the same thing again. You're going to see him turn his back and walk away. So, yeah. Then we saw Sammy talking to Owens. Owens like, where have you been? And then Sammy, listen, I didn't want to say nothing, but I talked to Jay and then Jimmy, and well, I was trying to trying to convince them they don't have to do this. And then Kevin like, no, listen. We got the draft coming up this Friday. No matter what, we're walking out of that match as champs still. Got me? And then just basically leaving it like that. So, yeah. Now with that said, next match of the night was the Street Profits going against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Well, it was a nice let-me-up match because, you know, they had Angelo, he's a Chicago kid, in there. Shelton and Cedric, they were leading for the most part. Ford, he was the punching bag, and Dawkins got the hot tag in, cleaned up. And then the match came to an end when Dawkins did the spine buster, tagged in Ford, and then Ford from the heavens, frog splash, 1, 2, 3. That was it. So yeah. Next up we got women's trios action. Damage control. Bailey. Sorry, Freudian side slip. Bailey, Io, and Dakota Kai going against Bianca and two partners of hers, and this came to be from a interview earlier in the day where Bianca was hyping up her match coming up at Backlash against Io, and then Damage Control came over. They were saying, well, if you feel that good about it, why don't you put your money where your mouth is, step in the ring tonight. And then Bianca said, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm up for it. I'll take all y'all on. Oh, well, good luck finding two people that want to tag with you. Later, loser. Basically that kind of shit. So, who are Bianca's partners? Well, drumroll please. Wade. God damn it. This is the kind of production help I get, folks. Anyways, tag partners were Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, the women's tag champs. No surprise. So, decent start, you know, kind of like for feeling out process. Heels, they were leading into the break. Post-break, Liv, she was the punching bag for the most part. Raquel got the hot tag in. And then at one point, and this is probably becoming my favorite spot to see whenever I see Liv and Raquel doing the tag matches. Raquel literally picking up Liv and then powerbombing her over the rope to hit their opponent. So and all I'm thinking is, that is one mean chick because she is hitting a motherfucker with another motherfucker. Okay. I am not gonna I do not want to piss her off. Whew. So, anyways, eventually match comes to an end when Bianca gets in. She hits the KOD on Bailey, gets the 1, 2, 3, and then afterwards, her and Io have a really mean stare down where they're both giving each other the 1,000-yard death stare. And yeah. Next up, we got Chad Gable going against Mustafa Ali because, again, interview earlier in the day, Gable was explaining what the results of the draft could mean to what the results of the draft could mean to Rick Boogs, and then emphasize on how Alpha Academy is going to stay because he's with his #1 guy, Otis. And then Maxxine Dupri came over saying on how Otis is going to stay with Maximum Male Models. And then he's like, whoa, he's going to be with me. And then them two were squabbling for half a second, and then Mustafa Ali came over trying to spread some positivity and some happy cheer. And then brought up on how you and I have a match tonight, Chad. So maybe you see. Hopefully you'll be a little positively. Yeah. So as far as the match went, oh my, holy fucking shit nuts! This was by far the fastest rate, and I'm not saying they were bouncing around like a Super Bowl stuck in a room, but it was like they were much faster pace than anything else that was going on up until this point. Nice, really good, nice back and forth. Kind of brought back some memories of 205 Live. But I dug the match. I thought it was really good. It came to an end. However, the ending was the fucking shits to me because Gable went to go for the Chaos Theory that Okada roll into a deadlift German, and Ali countered it into a fucking roll up. I fucking hate roll up finishes like that because it just feels so fucking lazy. Ugh. God damn. Anyways. Next up, we got Finn Balor going against Cody Rhodes, and this had a really good start with feeling each other out. Cody, he was leading the pace into the break, and then Balor, he was into the post. Balor was post-break. Really good action with these guys, and and all I could think is, okay, you got 2 different generations of Bullet Club right here, and nobody on fucking Twitter and shit brought it up at any point. That just tells you on how, that just tells me these 2 guys were focusing, that people were more so focusing on the match, or it just completely slipped their mind altogether, because when AJ and Finn went against each other, both times, everyone was like, oh my god, first gen Bullet Club versus second gen, and I'll be first to admit, I did that, but it was, whew, this time it was like, whoa, nobody said it. Huh, shocker. So, yeah, now we come to main event of the night. Rey Mysterio going against Damian Priest, and Priest was doing manhandling Rey all over this John. He was beating him up something senseless. Rey started to build up a comeback after the break. They did show, though, that at one point Bad Bunny did get to the arena. He came through the parking lot, started working his way through. And Rey, like I said, he built the comeback post-break, hit the 619 at one point, was going up, getting ready to go froggy, and then just as he got to the top, Priest had a chair and wham, threw it at Rey. So, ref called for the bell and a DQ finish. And just as Priest was about to go and pretty much treat Rey like a sacrificial lamb, Bad Bunny's music comes out, hits. He comes out with a Singapore cane in his hand, looking like, you motherfucker. Oh, I'm gonna beat you. And Priest just looking like, he showed? So he gets in the ring and he's like, hey, listen, man, we don't have to do this. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you, man. Don't make me have to hurt you. And Bunny, he's not just looking like, I wish I could read his lips on what he said. Not that good at lip reading, unfortunately. But then, wham! Cracked him with it. Cracked him a couple more times. Priest got out the ring. Bunny chased after him. Priest then went to go and try and capitalize, get a few shots in. Bunny then, wham! Cracked him some more and then started whooping him senseless with the Singapore cane until Priest hightailed it out. And then Bunny got the mic, said, oh, Damian, Puerto Rico, Backlash. I'm not hosting no more. You and me, we're going to settle this in a street fight. And so, yeah. Definitely not what I was expecting. I was honestly expecting a tag match with Priest and Dominic against Ray and Bunny. But, dude, listen. I'm impressed with Bad Bunny. I'm normally not one for celebs in the wrestling. And it's not like I'm like, oh, keep them away, keep them away. It's like, no. Because you got to take a lot. It takes a lot of time and work to make them look good. Some pick up on it right away real quick. You know. Some bust their ass to do the work to look good. You know. But some don't. And Bunny, man, I give mad props because he fucking busted his ass and whew, he is that damn good. He's good. Like, if he wasn't doing music, I wouldn't be surprised if he was competing regularly. Like, kind of good. So, anyways, yep. So, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check out us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details are down below. Thank you to LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, don't forget to check out whatamaneuver.net for some Vicious rants apparel. Help support the show. Help get the Vicious Studios some AC because, well, summer season's coming up and we don't necessarily have good ventilation in here. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool ass cats on their Twitter. Give me Killer DSP_IV Diabolica RA. Sergeant Curry Pits and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.
Don't need your presence, whether love, hate, or indifference.